time for Dave101.
Right, if you haven't heard the news recently, there was this weird crash into the moon. Now, the story goes like this. The moon has a new double crater after a rocket body collided with its surface back on March 4th. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which has been circling the moon since 2009, revealed the location of the unusual crater. The impact created two craters that overlap, an eastern crater measuring 18 meters across, or 59 feet, and the western crater spanning 16 meters, or 52.5 feet. Together, they create a depression that is roughly 91.8 feet, or 28 meters wide in the longest dimension. A rocket body hit the moon, yes, or was it? Although astronomers, according to the stories, expected the impact after discovering that the rocket part was on track to collide with the moon, the double crater did create a little bit of a surprise, making it look a little bit bigger than it should. But here's the problem that we have with this. Nobody knows where the rocket came from. There was some wonder whether it was a part of a SpaceX Falcon rocket stage or something else. Maybe something from the 2014 Chinese lunar mission. NASA believes that's what it is, that it may have been from the Chang'e 5 moon mission, according to Chinese thought. But their Ministry of Foreign Affairs says, not ours. Not ours. Don't be blaming us for this explosion on the moon. So here's the thing. There's over 26,000 pieces of space junk orbiting the Earth, from the size of a softball to all the way to a satellite, and smaller pieces the size of a marble or a nut and bolt, around 500,000. That could do a lot of damage. Oh, and by the way, in case you're counting at home, there's over 100 million pieces that are the size of a grain of salt or less. But nonetheless, because of space's speed, could puncture a spacesuit or do damage to something. So what it comes down to is this. NASA, once again, has no idea where this rocket came from. Sound familiar? Look, NASA doesn't seem to know a lot right now. They don't know about aliens, even though their astronauts have said that they've seen things up in space. They're spending $100,000 of taxpayer money trying to figure out if this whole alien UFO thing may be real, when all they really need to do is go into their own filing cabinets to find the reports. Or maybe, just maybe, there's something else to this. The rocket could be a part of a secret space program. Think about that for a second. The long-denied secret space program. Is this where the black triangles come from? Is this where we get these 300, 600-foot craft? They're parked on the moon, allegedly, that take soldiers up to Mars to kill aliens and the whole 20 in backs super soldier program. The reality is, we don't know. And it's weird to even talk about something like this because it sounds so far-fetched. However, there is a lot of research out there who believe that there is something nefarious going on with a secret space program. Look, NASA has very, very smart people working for them. These are people who know where the space junk is. They have to, because every time a rocket, or in previous studies, the shuttle program, and now SpaceX, go up into space, there is so much debris and garbage up there that they have to wait for a clear window to pass over the launch site in order to get the rocket through safely. How strange is that? A lot of us just think, hey, just launch the damn thing. Get it up there. If the weather is good, launch it. No, they have to make sure that some old Russian cosmonaut satellite isn't going to hit, or American satellite. Because the one thing is, when those satellites die, they stay in their orbit until they eventually fall down into the atmosphere and hopefully burn up. But if you believe the secret space program exists, then it opens up a bunch of doors. A whole bunch of doors. Look, NASA knows every rocket that has been launched off this planet since day one. They know when it's happening in China. They know when it's happening in Russia. They know what's going up. They know what's happening with every other country that is in the space race. India, to name another, Japan. Yeah, it's happening. It's going on large and in charge right in front of our eyes. Yet NASA, for some reason, has no clue who or what this rocket is. To me, I think it's crap. I think they do. And if the secret space program is there, what if one of those special aircraft is what crashed into the moon? The easiest way NASA gets out of everything is denial. They play stupid. Because there's nobody that's going to actually argue with a bunch of astrophysicists and engineers and mathematicians who are the best of the best of the best, which is needed to put people up in space. You're not going to argue with that. Why? Because you and I, for the most part, are not smart enough. However, we can call them out on their crap that they are hiding. So if the secret space program is real, what if it was one of theirs that crashed going to a base on the far side of the moon that is allegedly there with aliens and humans? What if it was one of those TR-3Bs, black triangles that we hear about that are allegedly ours, that lost its way and crashed? That would be a pretty heavy and large aircraft to put a couple puncture wounds in the moon. But no, they're going to say it's space junk. They're going to say that it is something from a rocket that failed previously. They knew it was a rocket. Would they not be tracking it? They know everything in space. They have to. The Russians have to. The Chinese have to. And unless it's American and it was a secret rocket to shoot up there and do whatever it needed to do, then maybe we don't know what it is. But I do not trust NASA as far as I could throw them. Why? Because they lie. And I don't use that term lightly. But when you sit there the past few months and lie that you know nothing about extraterrestrials and UFOs, and you stand there like their leader, Bill Nelson, has done, straight-faced, saying, we got to get into this game. We have to figure out what is going on. We are allocating $100,000 for UFO UAP research. It's right there in your buildings. It's right there in your filing cabinets. Right there where you lost the Apollo sheets on how to get to the moon. We know Gemini had astronauts that saw UFOs. We know, thanks to Dr. Edgar Mitchell and others who came out during the Apollo program and admitted they saw UFOs. Photographs have been taken I have personally been given Apollo photographs that I cannot release because my source asked me not to, with blue lights right by the rocket. So NASA, once again, is caught with their pants down, lying to the public, playing stupid. Oh, we don't know what's going on. You get almost over billions and billions of dollars a year to pay for the smartest people possible, and you're going to play dumb on UFOs? You're the kings and queens of space. You're supposed to know what's going on up there. You can tell us where the space junk is. Just a couple months ago, the International Space Station was close to running into something. They had a few days in order to make it. Who was tracking that junk? NASA was. Because they know. They know where the space junk is. They know what is up there. They just don't want to admit it to people like you and me because of whatever reason. They would sooner play dumb than play smart. Or maybe it is a smart game, because they know the majority of Americans and the majority of Canadians and other people around the world aren't going to buy the UAP story, even though their own astronauts say different. We should all be upset about this. We should all be concerned. Because one day, and it may not be in our lifetimes, we are going to get the admittance of a potential secret space program that runs well above NASA. We may get the information that's actually been hiding in the catacombs of NASA, either in Houston or Florida, to try and figure out how much they really do know about extraterrestrials and UAP coming to this planet. They know, yet they continually treat us like fools, and they've done it again. We don't know what this rocket is that hit the moon? Come on. You know when a nut at the end of a screw is streaking towards the International Space Station and can puncture a hole in it, and you can't tell us what rocket hit the moon or secret space program hit the moon? It makes me shake my head. It makes me frustrated. It makes me wonder why. We all need answers. We all need to figure out what is going on. But as long as NASA continues to treat us like we are fools, we'll never get it. We just won't. And that's the sad part. Because when it comes to UFOs and extraterrestrial contact, NASA doesn't want to be a leader. That they have proven. They're going to follow this story and give it to somebody else. The hot potato, they've already passed over. And NASA, being the kings and queens of space, is not better off for it. In fact, eventually, it will show how much egg that they really do have on their faces. That is your Dave101. Do me a favor if you're watching on YouTube. Afterwards, give us a comment below. Tell us what you think. We're always interested in getting your opinion.